Hello and welcome to the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel for our weekend preview. And no, I'm not on my own this week. I am joined by Jack, and Jack will be giving his thoughts on the racing this weekend from Aintree and Sandown. I actually did all right on my own last week. I had the 40-1 place in the Ladbrokes Trophy with Brahma Bull, and then we also had the 11-4 winner with Nassalam, which somehow won. I think both of them were quite lucky, to be honest, to come in. I still don't know how both of them came in as selections. But look, I'm joined by Jack again. We're going to the Tingle Creek this weekend, Jack. I think the last time that we won a race course together was Champions Day, where we both put up Seal Away at 14-1 for our viewers. It's going to be great to be back on track together, and hopefully we can do it again.
Yeah, I cannot wait. It'd be great to be back on track together, as you say, and hopefully we'll be able to get a few Guinness in, but more importantly, a couple of winners. We've got a cracking Tingle Creek, only 5 line up, but we all know who we want to see do the job, don't we, eh?
Right, let's get underway then, and we'll kick things off from Aintree, and we'll start things off with the 205 there. It's the Many Clouds Chase. This is a Grade 2 over 3 miles, and currently the ground is soft at Aintree as rain potentially scheduled up and down the country over the weekend, but we'll wait and see how that comes. But Protectorate is your 7-4 favourite here. Native River 9-4, Imperial Aura is 9-2. Simply the Bets is 6-1. Sam Brown 16-1. Tiger Roll, the mighty Tiger Roll, is 16-1 and 40-1 about the other two. Look, Jack, we know how much you love Dan Skelton. Are you going to be siding with the favourite here?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I'm going to stick with the beautiful man himself, Dan Skelton, and Protectorate. I think this is probably one of the easier races of the weekend. Of course, it's great to see Tiger Roll back out. He's probably going to be done for class here. Of course, he's getting on a bit as well as the old fair 11 going on 12, as is Native River, who also has a little bit to prove. Imperial Aura doesn't really want to finish a race. He's been unseated, pulled up and fell on his last 3 assignments, and both Native River and Imperial Aura have to give Protectorate £3. Of course, he is a Grade 1 winner. He has the run under his belt, so we know he's going to probably come on for the run. It may have taken a little bit out of him. I think they've got a sufficient break into him. Of course, it was no mean feat, finishing just behind Midnight Shadow, who I think will go on to bigger and better things as well. And if I'm being honest, I think 7-4 is a pretty fair price about Protectorate.
So Jack, clearly a big fan of the favourite in this one, Protectorate, and yes, he is probably a worthy favourite with Bridget Andrews taking the ride. Obviously, Harry Skelton is there at Sandown to ride NUBE Negra in the Tingle Creek. But I'm going to be taking Jack on here, and it's actually a horse who finished about 5 lengths behind Protectorate in the Paddy Power Gold Cup at Cheltenham, and that's Simply the Bets. Now, he was very keen early on in the Paddy Power Gold Cup, and remember that was his first run after a wind-up, and Nichols did say potentially he was going to need that run. Now, this is the first time we see the horse stepped up to 3 miles, and I actually think this could be potentially a very good move for this horse. And like I say, he's had that run under his belt with that wind-up. I just think that this horse, he'll be jumping up, you know, second or third. He might even take the lead in this race, and I just think they'll do some job to sort of catch him towards the finish. I think he's going to be bang there under Gavin Sheehan. He's not one of my most popular selections this weekend, but I'll be taking Jack on with Simply the Bets in the Many Clouds Chase, and Jack with Protectorate. Right, let's move on to the big handicap we're going to be previewing on the card at Aintree. This is the Beecher Handicap Chase. We're over the national course here, over the national fences, and the trip is 3¼ miles. It's the 240 there, and Snow Leopardess is your 11-2 favourite here. Max Hottie 13-2, Mighty Thunder is 8-1, Kimberlite Candy 9s, Chris's Dream is 10-1, Vieux Leon Rouge is 12-1, Check It Out 12s, and 14-1 bar those. Now, there's one horse I'd absolutely love to see run well here, and that's last year's winner, Vieux Leon Rouge, who just loves this race, and he just loves the national fences in general. I really do hope for connections he runs an almighty race. He's not going to be my selection, but God, I'd be cheering him home if he was there bang at the finish. I think that this could go the way of Venetia's horse. Now, the ground, like I say, it's soft there at Aintree at the moment, and if that rain does come at schedule, it's only going to stay that way. The horse is currently 14-1 Achille. Now, look, her horses are running very, very well. We saw that last weekend. Fanny on Destraval put in a really decent performance. He's a horse who's definitely worth following over the season and throughout the season. And Cloudy Glen, obviously in the Trevor Hemmings colours. Trevor Hemmings probably cheering that horse home, looking down, cheering him home, and it was a really emotional success, and well done to the team with regards to Cloudy Glen. Now, I think with regards to Achille in this race here, the horse does stay forever. Now, he looks like a bit of a plodder. We saw that in the Midlands Grand National behind Time to Get Up, where he was just staying past finished horses. Now, I think this trip may be on the short side for him, but I think if they go off a good clip, he could just at the end he could be passing a few finished horses in the race, and I do think that potentially the National could be on the mind for this 11-year-old. I don't know whether that's the plan, but he did hold an entry in the London National that Jack and I will be previewing in a second. But it's interesting to hear that they've gone here with Achille. Charlie Deutsch has taken the ride, and I think that he's going to have a mighty chance at 14-1. I think he's a very good jumper. I just think that he might get done for pace. This isn't one of my stronger selections, but I just think with regards to, you know, if they do go too slow, I think it ends up a sprint finish. He's got no chance at all. But if they go off a decent clip, I think he's got an almighty chance where he could just finish very strongly. So it's going to be Achille for myself in here. Now, Jack, we're over the national fences, like I say. Have you got a big priced winner for our viewers here?
Sam, it's not really a race I'm too enthralled by, if I'm being honest. I get the Snow Leopardess angle, but if I'm probably going to have to stick my neck out, I'll probably be Kimberlite Candy, second in this the last 2 years. Last year, off £3 higher. I was actually on him for the National as well when he didn't really give a good account, pulling up there. I mean, off a rating of 150, it's still going to be a tough ask. I've seen quite a lot of money's come from him. He's a double figure price at the moment, about 10-1. Hopefully, he'll be able to get enhanced places on the day, and hopefully, he'll be able to go close.
So yeah, Kimberlite Candy for Jack and Achille for myself, and not a race that Jack and I are too enthralled by this weekend. But we move over now to the card at Sandown, where Jack and I have obviously had to put in plenty of effort to try and find you guys some winners. Now, we'll kick things off with the race we're previewing, which is the Henry VIII Novice Chase. This is a 2-mile grade one. It's the 150 on the card there. And third time lucky is your 6-4 favourite. Edwardstone is 4-1. Warlord is 6-1. Minella Drama is 13-2. Il Rodotto is 7-1. Stolen Silver is 12-1. And Do Your Job 14-1. Now, Jack, third time lucky. He looks very smart, but a lot of people are saying he's certainly worth taking on for the Arkle in March. Is he potentially easily worth taking on in this race here?
Yeah, now we get on to the serious action at Sandown, where we're going to be this weekend. Third time lucky. Look, I mean, I don't really like how he wasted so much energy in the mid part of the race in his last two assignments. He didn't really do that much in front at the back end of his races, but he's clearly the classiest in the race on ratings, and he should really get up here. I mean, 11-8, I kind of thought he'd be about even money, but here we are anyway. Yeah, but again, if I'm being honest, I am actually going to take on Dan Skelton. It's unlike me to take on the beautiful man himself, but I am going to have to here. And I was actually quite impressed with Edwardstone last time out. I think he quickened away really nicely at the line. I mean, if you look at the last half mile, it was the quickest on the day, bar the bumper on the last race of the card over a mile 6, which is nothing too bad at all. So I think he quickened away in good style. Of course, he was brought down on his penultimate run, which was a freak incident. Of course, Do Your Job picking up the pieces there, who he reopposes today. I think Edwardstone will be able to take a step forward, and hopefully he may be able to grab second to third time lucky. But if third time lucky doesn't fail to fire off or fails to finish to see out the race, which could be the case, I think Edwardstone at about 9-2, 5-1 could be a nice little win bet just to see if he can pick up the pieces.
Yep, Jack, in some ways I'm with you here, but not with your selection, but I'm definitely going to be taking on Third Time Lucky. I think the Third Time Lucky, he's looked very, very good. Do not get me wrong, his jumping was exceptional. He's very quick at his fences. I thought that the jumping, it's 3 or 4 out at Cheltenham the last day, was absolutely exceptional. Interesting to see whether Harry Skelton thought he'd hit the front too soon that day. He had to ask the horse up the hill and keep him up to his work, and that would be a bit of a concern at Sandown. Now, it'll be interesting to see with all of these novice chasers how they get on at the railway fences. Sandown is a proper test there for jumpers, and I do think that we're going to see I think the best jumper in this race is going to win. It sounds obvious to say that, but the horse who jumps the best is going to go and win this at Sandown. I think with these novices, that seems to be the way when I watch these races back over the years, and I do think that potentially Warlord could be the one to side with. And look, Warlord's probably not got the best form to his name. I just think that potentially he's got a lot of improvement in him. He's going to step up a hell of a lot from his recent runs, and he's beaten some good horses. The horse he beat on Chasing Debut, that horse since came out and won a handicap chase at Chepstow. And then the horse he beat prior to that was Manila Drama, who's in here as well. I think Manila Drama will run a big race as well, actually. But Manila Drama had some really decent hurdling form to his name prior to going chasing. So it looks like a really fascinating contest. The one worry I have with Edwardstone, he could make a big step up as well. I think this is a race where you wouldn't be shocked to see either of potentially the three at the top of the market go in here. And that's why I say jumping is going to be absolutely key here at Sandown. Hence the reason I say that the best jumper is probably going to go and win this. And it'll all be told at those railway fences. I'm convinced that maybe a couple of these are going to make mistakes down there. But I think it's with the two inform yards, and that's the Tizard yard and the Skelton yard. But at the price, I think 6-1 is a decent price about Warlord for a yard that are going at a 20% strike rate. So Jack's going to be with Edwardstone, who's currently around 4-1, 9-2, and I'm going to be with Warlord, currently at 6-1. Right, that's it for that race there, and we're now going to go on to, look, it is a very good race, okay? A lot of people are slating this, even at a grade 1, of being a bad race. Now, it would be a bad race if everything had fallen apart midweek, where we had the drift on Chacun Poursoir, and potentially we could have left with NUBE Negra at the top of the market, probably a heavy odds-on favourite. But look, we have the battle here, no Shishkin, but we knew that was happening, and hopefully we can see these three horses maybe face up in the near future. But look, Chacun Poursoir versus NUBE Negra, it seems that way. This is a grade 1 over 2 miles, and I just think that potentially we're in for an almighty clash. I'd love to see these two horses turning in to the home straight together. It's the 225 on the card there. Chacun Poursoir is 11-8, NUBE Negra 5-2, Grenadine is 9-2, Hitman 12-1, and Captain Guinness is 14-1. Do let us know down in the comments with regards to this race who you are going to be siding with. Jack, it's Chacun Poursoir versus NUBE Negra. Let's go.
Here it is. It's the big one, and you're not going to be surprised with my selection. It's going to be NUBE Negra. Now, Chacun Poursoir, there's a couple of things which concern me with him. Of course, the ground. We've got some rain forecast on Friday. I know you're probably going to say it's lots of rain, blah, blah, blah. But everyone who watches this knows if there's one man not to trust when it comes to the weather forecast, it is yourself. So if you say there's going to be lots of rain, that means there's not going to be much. And hopefully you're right there. There's not going to be much. Chacun Poursoir hasn't raced on anything better than good to soft. So we've got currently good ground at the moment. We're on Thursday. So, I mean, even if it's good to soft, I think it plays into NUBE Negra's favour, who would want the rain to stay away. And if you look at Worley Mullins' record this autumn, I mean, if you look from 2011 onwards, he's been operating about 30-40% strike rates in autumn, whereas this year is at 19%, hinting that his runners perhaps may need the run. That would seriously worry me with someone like Chacun Poursoir, especially when he's been juggling whether to send Enegame and Chacun Poursoir Allaho here. Now, Chacun Poursoir is probably, I don't think he'll need the run personally. I just think the ground's going to be a big issue for him. NUBE Negra is as fit as he can be. I don't think the Schlur would have taken too much out of him. Harry didn't really ask him for too much at the end. I think he oozes class. I still think he's overlooked for the Champion Chase next year. I think he completely vindicated what I thought for this year in the Champion Chase. I think he should have still won it, and hopefully next year he'll be able to make amends.
Jack, I have no idea what you're saying with regards to the weather. Everyone knows on here that I'm one of the better weather forecasters out there. No, look, I'm joking. I'm not. Every time I seem to predict weather for weekend racing, it always never occurs. So do not trust me, but we are expecting rain on Friday, and we're probably going to get soft ground. So that means we're going to end up with a load of sun and probably good to firm going on Sandown on Saturday. But look, we'll wait and see. But Jack's with NUBE Negra, but that is unsurprising. I knew that was going to happen. This is going to be mine and Jack's big matchup here. Look, it's every man for himself. I think that's the translation of Chacun Poursoir. And this is going to be, at Sandown, I think it's going to be a lot of punters with these two horses. And I'm going to probably see the crowd lift as they come into the bend. I just hope we get them turn in together. I hope they're both left standing a length, just within a length of each other. I think we're in for an almighty clash. But Chacun Poursoir, he's going to go and do it. I just think that at Cheltenham, tactics were the issue. I'm not sure the hill was the issue. I really don't think the hill. It'll be interesting to see whether they're going to go back to Cheltenham with this horse. I don't know whether that is one of the big plans this season. But Be interesting to see if that is on the agenda for him. But outside of Cheltenham, he's looked electric. And remember, at the back end of last season, he put Nube Negra in the bin in the the race at Punchdown. And I just think that he could still be the best 2-mile chaser out there. Look, Shishkin's still to come out and show what he can do, but he's got to be very good to get on terms with Chacun and what he has done in the past. We all know that. Chacun has looked electric, quick at his fences. He can stay further. I see Sandown being no issue. Willie Mullins knows how to train a Tingle Creek runner, and this is no exception. He'll know that Chacun is going to be fine at Sandown. He's going to, over those those railway fences, he's going to be electric and he's going to be pinging them fence to fence to fence. Nube Negra, a very good horse in his own right. I'm not going to put anything against Nube Negra. I think he's a cracking bet for the champion chase. Do not get me wrong. But I just think that potentially he could be vulnerable to one of the best 2-mile chases we've seen in recent years. And Chacun, I think he's going to go in here. As long as we get probably good to soft going, he'll run a massive race and I'd be with him. If we got good going, I would be slightly concerned. But if we do get good going, I'd be very disappointed. But he could end up getting pulled out. It's one of those things that could happen. But if we get that rain on Friday, that won't be happening. So let's all just pray and hope Chacun does the business on Saturday. But like I say, let us know down in the comments who you're going to be with in the big one at Sandown on Saturday. Let's go on to the final race we're going to be previewing before we go on to our naps and next best. And this is the London National Handicap Chase. This is over 3.5 miles. It's a Class 2 handicap at 3 o'clock there at Sandown. Strictly a Dancer is your 4-1 favourite. Die Sharber is 9-2. Larry for the Gary Moore team is 5-1. Highland Hunter 6-1. Christmas in April 8-1. The Mighty Don is 17-2. Red Infantry 9-1. And double figures, the rest of them. Now, I'm a massive fan here of the Mighty Don and one of my better bets of the weekend. I think he's a right chance in this. I really, really do. He ran a cracker behind Yala Enki, who I think is just a front-running monster, in my opinion. I think he's a cracking horse, old Yala Enki. But he stayed on in impressive style the last in that race there. He stayed on in really good style and hasn't been raised a pound for it. Now, the step up in trip is only a slight step up in trip, but it's going to suit this horse. I think they're going to go off a fair clip, and he's going to be staying a bit like I'm hoping Achille does in the Beach Chase, but I think he's going to be staying on past some Finnish horses, and we're going to see him fly up the Sandown hill. He jumps really well. Like I say, I think there's going to be horses paddling, and I think he'll be the one that's just picking them off one by one as they come in. Now, Jack, it's the last race we're previewing, and I just think that potentially you're going to give ourselves a nice winner to finish off with.
Look, it's another tricky looking handicap, isn't it? Strictly a Dancer. I mean, he's looked like he's had Tank in hand on his last 3 wins. He's about 4-1, so I'll probably be steering away from there. And I still think the Mighty Don's well handicapped off an unchanged mark of 137. Everything went wrong for him last time out at Cheltenham. I was actually there watching it. Noel Houlihan lost his irons briefly. There was mistake after mistake, and yet he still absolutely flew home on similar ground to this. And I still think, depending on how much that race took out of him, I think he's still got a big one in him. I'm going to follow him off a cliff probably. He's going to do my head in. But I think the Mighty Don at a double figure price each way is the way that I'm going to be opting.
Right, there we go. This is the seal away then, Jack, of Sandown on Saturday. Obviously, we had seal away on Champions Day, but we've got the Mighty Don this Saturday as our joint bet at around 17-2. Not 14-1 like seal away, but 17-2 is a fair price. So Jack and I are both going to be with the Mighty Don in the London National. Let's get on to our naps and next best for the weekend before we leave you guys. Jack, give them both at the same time. What's your nap and next best this weekend?
With a nap and next best, I'm not going to do anything too fancy. I've got a nap and next best, no fancy prizes, it's fair to say, but I'll be putting them both in a double and hoping they can do the business. Of course, it's going to be the Dan Skelton double. I cannot leave my man this weekend. It's the biggest weekend of the season for him so far. The nap is, of course, going to be Nube Negra to have the crown of the Tingle Creek and show Chacun, put him in his place and hopefully get one on the board for Britain. I just pray to the Lord that the rain doesn't come and he has suitable conditions. I think he's got the run under his belt. Willie Mullins' yard. It looks like they're needing the run at the moment. Hopefully Nube Negra will be able to go and do it, and you'll see a very, very, very happy Jack. And the next best is, of course, going to be Protectorat in the many clouds. I think he uses class. He's got others are giving weight away to him. And I think at 7-4 is still a fair enough price. I think he'll probably go off 5-4, 13-8, 6-4, something around there on the day. So I think in a double, that is going to be my double for the weekend. Hopefully Nube Negra can do the job, and Protectorat can also follow him home, eh?
God, you just don't give up, do you? Dan Skelton, he just loves him. As Jack says, apparently he's a beautiful man. In Dan he trusts. That's it. He's going to go with the double. His nap's going to be Protectorat and Nube Negra as his next best. So good luck to Jack with the Dan Skelton double. It'll be interesting to see if many people are on the treble, to be fair, and whacking third time lucky in there. But it won't be for myself. Now, my nap of the weekend is going to be Chacun pour Soir. I think that if he runs, he's going to win this. If Willie Munners lets him go, he'll win this and show that he is one of the best 2-mile chasers we've seen in recent years. And my next best will be an each-way play on the Mighty Don in the London National. Jack and I are going to both be with this horse. We're going to be cheering at home together at Sandown on Saturday, and hopefully some of you guys will be on the horse as well. And that's it for our weekend preview. I'm sure you're going to see lots of action this weekend on Twitter and on Instagram. Do check us out, nextgenracing_ on Instagram. There may be a few pictures or a story up from this weekend, which we'll probably also share on Twitter as well with you guys. And hopefully Jack and I'll be sharing a picture of both of us after cheering home a nice 17-2 winner with the Mighty Don. And I'm sure you'll see a few Guinnesses in hand with myself and Jack, but we're really looking forward to it. Thanks for all the recent support with these videos. Honestly, it's been great. We've absolutely loved doing them throughout this year. We've only got a few weeks left until the Christmas period where we have got an almighty video planned for you guys. But look, it's a short preview this week, but hopefully we found you plenty of winners. Appreciate all the support and thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.